Well, I moved to Milliken when I was starting my junior year in high school, and I graduated from Milliken, and I loved Milliken. Of course, I was a new girl on the block, in a small school. I loved sports, and of course, the first thing I got to be cheerleader, and then I was a homecoming queen, and then I was prom queen, and so that's the reason why I probably really liked Milliken. But of course, met this young man when I was starting my junior year. It was a blind date. He stood me up the first time, but he came back and I married him, and we was married 62 years, and then he passed on in December. Probably the first thing I was involved in was the fire department. My husband was really a dedicated fireman, although we had a business. But I helped get the auxiliary going, and then went on from there, and the kids were in school. So of course I was, real mother. Of course 4-H came along, and so they was in 4-H, and the 4-H leaders that was there asked me if I would take over, and I said sure. She said, well, there's only 10 members. And I said, well, that's okay, And so I took over the 4-H, and I think in 2 or 3 years, I had like 60 kids in there. I started a softball team for the girls first. And I had 3 teams, juniors, seniors, and peewees. And then they had the volleyball, so I coached that also. Well, that lasted 30-some years, 4-H did, so I was in there a long time. And I think that we went to State Fair about 35 years in a row. And I judged 4-H, and I judged at State Fair. We got paved streets, and I helped with the going around, talking to people and telling them how we need paved streets, and that was a college education, because you didn't know what they was going to say to you if they was against it. The ones that was for it was very pleasant, but the ones that was against it was very vocal. But I hung in there, and because I believed that we needed paved streets, and so then we got them. And then the lady that was the senior coordinator, she got sick and passed on. So I put my application in there, and I loved that also, it just, and I really built it up. We only had, I think it was 12 or 14 seniors at the time. Then when we reached 20 people, I had a party. When we reached 30 people, I had a party. And same way, we got clear up to 60. I served on the Beef and Bean Committee, well, since they started in 1971, because the women had to bake all the beans. The men they barbecued the beef all night in the park, but we had to bake all the beans. I was Citizen of the Year, and then and enjoyed that. I mean, it was a real honor. And then after I retired, then they had me and my husband to be parade marshals. Our 100-year centennial was coming up for Milliken, and so I decided we needed one, and I talked to the town manager at the time, said yes, so I started the centennial, and got a lot of people involved in that. And then I really decided that poor Milliken just needs a museum. I formed a historical society, and we started gathering stuff. And I also play the piano. I play by ear, and I play a lot of instruments, and I love that. I love music. I don't know what I would do without it. I've been on the town board for 5 years, I was, and I still go to them. I just like to know what's going on. Well, I really do enjoy getting people involved, and I'm probably no different than anybody else. I like for you to ask me. I love people. I like people. I like talking to people.